So while we have lowered the barrier to creativity, the bar for what we consider consumable or acceptable content is actually going up.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Ad Podcast. We are doing a takeover of the Adobe Beach studio here in the Crescent, where we've got the Creator Beach. We've got Govind Balakrishnan, who is the general manager of the Adobe Express product, here to talk a little bit about what Adobe is doing at Cannes and how Adobe is supporting the creator economy as it continues to build and burgeon here in Cannes. Govind, thanks for coming on.
No, absolutely. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So we're here in the Adobe studio. Every year it seems like Adobe's footprint at Cannes gets a little bit bigger. You guys were, when I first started coming to Cannes, very focused on the enterprise side of the business. But as I've been coming to Cannes for at least the last 4 years, the creator economy continues to become more of an important part of the ecosystem. People always knew creators were important, but creators didn't come to Cannes. They went to VidCon, right? And because there was always that conflict. But now I feel like creators are maybe 50-50. If they can get here, they want to come here just as much as VidCon. It's on their radar. So I'd be curious, as you guys follow where creators want to spend their time in the real world at cultural touch points and moments for them to learn, create community, and experience things in the real world. I'd be curious how you are thinking as a product leader for something like Adobe Express, which is this very lightweight, amazing toolkit for creators that are maybe more beginner than hardcore Premiere Pro users, etc.
Yep.
Be curious how you are kind of tracking with the trends of Cannes and the creator economy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for starters, thanks once again for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for hosting me in this beautiful studio, getting into the cool AC for a few minutes.
There you go, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's great to be here. And and similar to your trajectory, I've also been, this is my third time here at Cannes.
Nice, yep.
And what's unique generally about Cannes is that conversations that sort of involve both creativity and business happen at the same time in the same room.
Yeah.
And that for all practical purposes is actually quite rare, right?
Yeah.
More often than not, creativity gets discussed separately from growth, and brand building gets discussed separately from business performance.
Yep. They've been kind of disjoined as separate channels, separate disciplines.
Exactly. And, for all intents and purposes, the people who are shaping, culture, media, technology, and business are all part of the same conversation here at Cannes, especially more so this year, as you said, as the audience has shifted more and more towards creators.
Yeah.
You're actually seeing people who are shaping some of these components around culture, media, technology, and business be part of the same conversation here. And in a year, if you really think about it, where AI is quite dramatically reshaping all aspects of both creativity and marketing.
Yep.
Right? I don't think there's a better place to essentially think about or to explore how human creativity and innovation come together to really drive business impact. And that's the conversation that I've actually been really excited about having, because creators are no longer just creating content. They're actually building businesses. They're looking to have real business impact.
Yep.
And the fact that we are now having those conversations in this forum right here is something that I think is incredibly exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I had the benefit of attending Adobe Max many times. I think something that was a trend that I kind of recognized was, every year sneaks would come out. And the guys in the laboratory would come on stage and show some amazing feature that absolutely blew people's minds, like content-aware fill or auto-reframe or some of these things that were just completely mind-bending with how much time it was going to save people, how easy it was to use. But then there was also a group of people in the audience that was like, there goes my job, right? I feel like, what maybe creatives experienced in the small microcosm of Adobe Max has kind of seeped out to the larger, world in general. The idea that AI now is this amazing tool where every day we see great use cases of, AI being able to enhance people's lives, make them faster, make them better. But then there's also kind of a lot of fear out there around AI for some reason. Maybe because it's touching the mass population in a way that a single product or a single set of creative tools don't generally get, broad global awareness. Users have them in their pockets. Every single person has a chatbot or an AI in their pocket. I'd be curious from your perspective, how do you guys at Adobe think about humans in the loop, humans as part of the creative process, and how AI is a supercharger, whether it's in the Express product or others, and it's a supercharger for creativity and it unleashes more content creation capabilities, more creativity, and people shouldn't be afraid of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is essentially the conversation I've been having with a bunch of creators while I've been here at Cannes.
Nice.
And what's actually playing out, what's happening in real life, is that the AI capabilities that we have introduced in our products is actually helping our creatives and creators amplify their creativity.
Yeah.
What it does is it clearly gives them a head start. It makes it easier for them to create more content at scale, no doubt, right? But what it also does is it gives them more time and space to bring human judgment, their distinctive taste, their distinctive voice to the creative work that they're doing. And that understanding and recognition is what is critical for creatives to take advantage of, right? So it's not that their work is devalued or their work is not important. It is just as important, if not more important than it ever was. But the key is to use AI to get to some sort of a starting point, as quickly as possible, and then still take the time and effort to still bring in your distinctive creative identity, be it your voice, your values, what you stand for, how you want to show up. Like, make sure that all of that comes through in your content and take the time to do that. And as we see more and more creators do that, we are actually seeing that those are the creators that are actually standing out and are breaking through and are not sort of finding themselves or their content in a sea of sameness. Because the more creatives and creators use AI and just use AI and not bring in their distinct voice, the more you're actually going to be flooded with the sea of sameness of content that will just not break through.
Yeah, I love that. It's what I love about AI, especially generative AI, and especially generative AI in video, is it allows non-video creators it gives everybody at least a starting point to start to play. I remember over the holidays, I had an idea for a commercial that I wanted to do for my podcast for many years. It was kind of like in the back of my head. I could see the scenes. I knew the parts of other films that I wanted to kind of borrow through. I had the storyline, the script written out, everything. And it always was one of those projects where it's like, well, when I get $20,000, I'll go do that, And over the holiday break this year, I was, in the shower where great ideas hit you occasionally. And I was like, you know what? I could probably make this on Adobe Firefly. Just like, even if it's just, kind of a proof of concept, if you will, that I could hand over to somebody else who's more skilled than I am in kind of the editing side of video production. At least I would have a way to communicate my vision and a way to experiment and even see if this concept would land with the humor and kind of the story that I want to tell. I'd be curious, how do you see generative AI and the tools that you guys are building at Adobe really democratizing creativity and allowing anybody to test their ideas and to try things?
No, absolutely. I mean, as you said it, we're at a very interesting inflection point. Just as you did, the barrier, so to speak, to creativity is lower than it's ever been, right? Through tools like Firefly, Adobe Express, we have essentially, lowered the barrier to entry where anyone who has a story to tell now has the medium to tell their stories, right? And for all practical purposes, if you think about it, everyone actually has a story to tell.
Yeah.
And the reason they haven't been telling those stories is because they have not found the medium to express their stories. Now that's no longer an excuse, so to speak. The barrier to storytelling has actually been lowered quite dramatically. But what it has also done, though, I mean, yes, as you said, it gives people more room to try things out, to build some proof of concepts, to experiment with things, all of that. But as more and more people are creating more and more content, we are all, as consumers of content, being flooded with content, what we are also seeing is that the bar, so to speak, for what we as consumers consider content that we are willing to consume.
Yeah, willing to give attention span to, which is the highest commodity now, right?
That's
it's time spent.
Exactly, is actually going up. So while we have lowered the barrier to creativity, the bar for what we consider consumable or acceptable content is actually going up. So as a creator, you still have the opportunity to continue to do, I mean, as you said, start simple, test, iterate, get your proof of concept, get it done right, or get the idea right, and then you use the tools and capabilities to really meet that bar, so the content that you create breaks through and meets your audience and your community where they want to be met.
I love it. So you're here at Creator Beach talking about Adobe Express to creators and to the community at large. Are there particular features, things that you've shipped recently and the most recent? What is the Adobe Express story here at Creator Beach at Cannes?
So we are increasingly looking for ways to lower the barrier to entry, so to speak, right?
Nice.
Doing more on that front. And some of the more recent innovation that we are excited about is the ability to essentially converse with our tools.
Okay, so making it conversational on the AI side.
On the AI side,
Wow,
where you
cool.
can essentially talk to the application like you would to a designer.
That's cool.
Like have a two-way conversation and get to the output that you're looking to get to, without essentially leveraging or using any of the tools, the fine-grained tools that are still available. If you choose to, if you feel like you need to, you still have the ability to go in and do fine-grained edits as needed. But
so you can kind of talk the AI through your project, and at any time if you feel like you need to take control back, you can pop in and use Express the way you normally would use it.
So we are
That's really
incredibly
cool.
excited by that advancement, and we think that, as I said, we just now have lowered the barrier. Like there's no excuse for anyone to
Has that feature already shipped, or is that coming up?
It's in beta,
Nice.
so we are testing it with select cohorts of users.
Amazing.
And we expect to ship it in the not too distant future.
Let's
so
go.
stay tuned.
How is it going? Is the initial
The response has been phenomenal.
I can imagine.
Yeah, people are loving it, and they're obviously critical, which is good. You want to get feedback, which is why it's a beta.
Exactly.
You want to make it better, but people are loving
it, as they say, right?
Exactly.
Amazing.
Exactly.
Well, Govind, thanks so much for inviting me over to you guys' wonderful space. If folks at home want to connect with you, stay in touch with your thought leadership, or learn more about Adobe Express, maybe download it for a trial. You guys have a very generous trial program. Where would you like to send people to connect or learn more about Adobe Express and the power of what you guys are doing here?
Yeah, I mean, try it out. As you said, Adobe Express on adobe.com. Give it a shot. Send us feedback. You can also use it on mobile. We have it on iOS and Android. Try it out and give us feedback. We are all yours. We are looking to help you be successful, and I look forward to seeing all the stories that you're able to tell with the app.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And for everybody at home, if this is the first time you're seeing the show, don't forget to give us a follow or a subscribe. A honest review on whatever podcast platform you're listening on is how we find a bigger audience. And if there is a aspiring creator out there somewhere in your life, or somebody who's feeling Cannes FOMO this week, we are sorry, but share this video, and we will see you all very shortly. Thanks for coming on.
Great. Thank you.
On YouTube, finding the right audience to build a media plan requires hours of research. And optimizing campaigns is time-consuming and a bit of a guessing game. That's why we built technology to do it for you. Strike Social.